I know you're talking about the Chewie thing a second ago and asking for my opinion on whether I think it was a good thing to have the difficulty at this level. Well, there's a few things to keep in mind here. What was the last legendary? We had BB-8, and then we had Thrawn. Like, thinking of Thrawn, when we had the Thrawn legendary event,
it was Thrawn and then BB-8, right?
Yeah, but like Thrawn, it had the right amount of challenge, but it wasn't like you're ripping your hair out of your head. And
I don't know if that's true.
I didn't look at I mean, I didn't spend nearly as long, and I was able to beat it. Look, I geared up my Phoenix a little bit since then, but like I had like everyone at gear. Ezra's was at gear 11, and everyone else was like gear 7, gear 8, and I was able to beat Thrawn with super low gear. Now I geared up Chopper and Ezra, but like see like Kanan, I was able to take him with gear 7. Sabine, I didn't use Sabine for that event, but I used Zeb. He was also gear 7. I was able to use gear 7 characters and 1 gear 11, no Zetas, to beat a 7-star Thrawn when I put my arena mods on them. But you got to keep in mind with the Thrawn event when it first came out, the amount of time he had to farm the characters free to play was very little, and then you had a very little window to gear up the characters. So they probably had that expectation. All right, we're gonna tone down the difficulty a little bit because if we have it to where you need gear 12, gear 11. No one's gonna really get it except people who are gonna spend the money. Versus this Chewie event that we had here, bounty hunters. You could have farmed bounty hunters since day one. All the OG bounty hunters. I mean, you could have farmed them day one. You could have had them geared up, and then they started getting reworked over time throughout the year. So kind of the amount of time you had to gear up this very accessible faction was a bit higher. So therefore, probably to make the event have some sort of everlasting challenge, especially for those who've invested in these characters really early on, 2 years ago, early on this year, they toned up the difficulty a little bit. And it's painful. It like the 7th tier with no Zetas and no Bosk and all that stuff, it was pretty painful. But when you finally get it, it's so satisfying. Like I saw, I'm gonna pull up Mobile Gamer's stream here, or his video in a second here and show you. But like his reaction was golden. Like when I was reacting, I was tossing my chair around. It felt good. I mean, I think obviously if you gear up the characters even more and get Zetas, the event gets so much easier. But maybe to jump from like 4 to 5 and then 5 to 6, maybe that's the hard part. But I think tier 7 the way it is, I think for the type of legendary we have and the type of characters we need for that, I think that's kind of warranted. But the difficulty going from 4 to 5 and 5 to 6, I think that might be where things kind of get a little bit iffy.
4 to 5 was a big jump.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. 4 to 5 was
I had 5 in the bag. I wasn't even worried about 5. I didn't even think I was gonna have to move arena mods for 5, and I did.
Yeah, but yeah, here we go. Mobile Gamer's reaction. He was like totally pumped for like. See, it feels. I'm pretty set in my thoughts that the 7-star difficulty, I think it's warranted. Seeing all the facts behind this and how long bounty hunters have been available, and if you're just starting to farm them now, I guess that's understandable, but I think 5 and 6, that's kind of where the things are very difficult. I think
my favorite part, by the way, of Mobile Gamer's reaction is when he gets chopped off and is like just like this torso standing there with this firm line across.
That was a good one.
You don't realize that that's where the camera cuts off on a green screen, but
yeah. So yeah, so I think
that was a great reaction though.
Yeah, it was very good. That's I almost punched a hole in my wall. I didn't show my full like victory dance afterwards. I was literally like punching the walls and everything and like throwing chairs. Like I got pretty intense.
I wish I would have recorded my reaction, but when I finally got him, because I had actually been trying tier 5 for a while because my bounty hunters aren't as strong. So for me, the big moment was getting him at 5, just unlocking.
Yeah.
And I'll confess, I was in the bathroom at work working on it. And so I couldn't react very big, but I was like in there just like.
Yeah. No, I swore
silent reaction.
I didn't show my hour-and-a-half attempt at tier 7, but there was a lot of swearing going on in between. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I would be lying if I said I didn't drop a colorful word or two.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. Okay. I mean, I think the problem is I get difficulty is good. But the way they made it difficult is like, we're gonna this thing drove me crazy. You're a bounty hunter. You got the drop on these guys. Yeah. You got the drop on these guys. And then all of a sudden you shoot them. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna wait a few seconds. We're gonna let your buddies come to the party, and then we're gonna let you guys attack us first, even though we got the drop on you. It's like one thing I learned: these bounty hunters are the worst bounty hunters ever, and I would never hire them for a real life job if that was the case. that's where the difficulty came in. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't like the idea of like giving them 9,000 speed and have them outrun you at the beginning. That was my main problem. I don't like that as the bar for difficulty, because because what it does is it forces you to have your characters geared up, because there's really no way you're gonna make it unless your characters are geared up to survive the initial barrage coming from the other team. They take 5 turns. You got to survive, and so that's why you need the gear or a Zeta Bosk or something, or what I did, the load up on potency mods or Boba Fett. That's what saved me, and I think that saved a lot of people. I know Mobile Gamer use that strategy. That seems to be the best way. If you can't gear them up all the way, potency mods is what you got to do to survive. That's what I think this is all about.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it for me, because I'm actually okay with the difficulty, and this is coming from somebody who only has Chewbacca at 5 stars. Okay, I wasn't able to get him at 6 stars, even though I've got the characters, and I'm confident I would not have gotten him. Is that the right term?
Yeah.
Received
something like that. Received. Yeah, I don't know. This ain't no grammar stream.
Even if I had him, because I need the gear, and I think that we've gotten used to these legendary events are simply a star requirement. That's how we've almost always approached them, and so it's kind of been a matter of, when, like with Thrawn, people have the Phoenix squad at 7 stars, and it's about how can you do this with the least amount of gear possible. And the people who are throwing their phones in the walls are the ones that are trying to do it with gear 8 Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's why if somebody geared up their Phoenix to gear 10, gear 11, etc., they did fine. They could probably, maybe they could even auto the event. And so to me, it's raising the bar of what you need for this late game. I think it's our 6th or 7th legendary character. It's just raising the bar. This is not just about getting stars, guys. We're going to have to gear up these characters. And so, to me, I need grammar lessons. Fine.
Grammar lessons.
I have a political science degree. Like, I didn't get an English degree. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, to me, the question is more, am I okay with them basically requiring that you just actually gear these characters up all the way to 11 and 12? And I don't love it, but I respect it. Personally, especially because bounty hunters are pretty useful in other game modes. They're especially useful in territory battles and territory wars.
I'm okay with it too. Again, I think the main thing really is just the cutscene over and over again. That's what drove me crazy. I mean, my hour and a half.
That is something that I will give feedback on.
Yeah.
I get you want us to watch it once, especially because it was pretty cool. But please, after we've seen it once and we're trying 3,000 times.
Yeah. I think half my hour and a half that I spent doing it was for cutscenes. I feel like, because there's no way to fast forward that. I think once you see it once, it should just go right into the battle.